This Tennessee History for Kids video is sponsored by the HCA Foundation, helping kids learn about the great state of Tennessee.
Well, hey everybody, it's History Bill, and I am in Sumner County today at a place called Castellan Springs. I'm in a field near this little community called Castellan Springs, and the reason I'm here is because of that. That's not just any ordinary pile of dirt. This is basically the center mound of a town that was active and there were people living here between about 1100 and 1300, a long time ago. And there's no sign of them left. And the reason we're here is that there's a very large archaeology dig going on. There's a lot of students from Middle Tennessee State University and some real archaeologists, and they've agreed to show us around and tell us a little bit about what used to be here and what they're looking for as they dig through the ground in this field in Sumner County. I'm ready to get started. Let's take off. Okay, so you're Dr. Kevin Smith. You're an archaeologist.
That's right.
Wow. So you dig in the ground for a living?
That's what I do during the summertime.
Oh, okay. And you teach during the fall and the spring.
Right.
Okay. Well, why are you digging in this field of all fields?
Well, this was the site of an ancient town 800 or 900 years ago that precedes Gallatin. It's before Europeans got here. So these are our ancestors here in Tennessee.
What are we hoping to find in the ground?
Well, we're looking for the objects that they left behind, and most of that's garbage. It's things that they threw away they didn't want to take with them when they left. So we're looking for broken pottery, stone tools, broken stone tools, animal bones, things that they ate and then they discarded the bones.
Well, can we kind of wander around and check it out? Is that all right?
Sure.
Excellent, excellent. I got my shovel. Dr. Smith, what is she doing here?
Well, to recover all the small artifacts, which if you're just shoveling, you wouldn't see those. We're using the screen. All the dirt that comes out of the excavation units goes into these screens. We sift the dirt out, and then we retrieve the artifacts out of them. They all go into a bag, and they go back to our lab where they're all washed up. But lots of small things. This is 1/4 inch mesh, so anything that's bigger than 1/4 of an inch we'll catch in this.
Okay, we're talking earlier to Dr. Smith, and now we're talking to Dr. Perez. Now, what's your specialty?
My specialty is looking at what people ate here at the site.
A long time ago.
A long time ago.
And based on, how do we know what people ate based on what was left behind, right?
Yes, and we only find some of what they ate. And I specifically look at the animal remains, so the bone, shell, teeth that we find here at the site.
So what kind of things do we know that these people like to eat?
Well, they really liked white-tailed deer.
That was
the main thing, but also things like turkey, a squirrel, a turtle, fish, some mussel shells. We find these flakes. I call them bone flakes. So more deer. I'm telling you, there's a lot of deer here. Here's a piece of a box turtle.
Wow.
Part of its shell.
Now, whose tooth is this?
This most likely comes from a dog, which was the only domesticated animal here in North America.
Okay, so what is this?
This is what I would call a dog mandible, or its lower jaw.
Looks like, gosh, it's amazing the teeth stayed on there for almost 1,000 years.
Sure, they sure did, and not a lot of wear on the teeth. This wasn't a particularly old animal. The teeth look really healthy, so it was well taken care of. It had a good diet, and this is a pretty good size jaw. I'm thinking this dog was probably border collie size.
Well, he kept his teeth very clean.
The teeth are great. I mean, probably cleaner than most modern dogs.
So the rule of
Really
thumb
good
is
shape.
that if you do what your dentist says, one day when they dig up your teeth,
They'll look just as great as this.
Okay, well, that's
right,
important.
yeah.
Now the question I'm interested in now is, these holes are unbelievably perfect. They're straight down and they're flat at the bottom. I didn't realize it would be this well tended. I mean, why do they do it like this?
We do it this way because we want a controlled sample.
Okay.
We want every excavation square to be the exact same size. You can choose any size you want. These are standard 2 by 2 meter units. That's the standard for archaeologists.
Like earlier you were showing us some dog teeth.
Yes.
And some deer teeth. Do you know, for instance, if you look at one of those, it came from this exact spot right here?
Exactly.
Probably the most famous artifact from Tennessee comes from this site. It was found in 1891. It was carved gorget. That's basically something that was worn around the neck. It was a large object that was an import, probably brought here from Illinois, southern Illinois, made by a master craftsperson there.
Finally, I spoke with Aaron Dieterwolf of the Tennessee Division of Archaeology. He told me that the time period when this village was active is known as the Mississippian Era, and he explained to me what this whole village would have looked like 1,000 years ago.
It would have looked a lot like it does now. It was a big open area. They came in and they cleared off all the trees, and they had this big open space that we call a plaza. And around that plaza, they built their mounds. And the mounds were the center point of their village, of their city.
Now that I'm up here, I can see really far. This was where the head of the town or whatever, this is where he would have seen his town.
This is where the people who were in charge would have been. And you can see all around us are sort of these uplands. We're down in this little valley, and this mound is the tallest thing right in the center of the valley. And so the people who were in charge would have been here living or working or overseeing the town from the structure, from the house that was built on top of this mound. And all around us out on the plaza would have been all of the workshops and all of the houses and all of the things for the everyday people.
It does make you wonder about how a village can be created and then thrive for hundreds of years, then vanish and leave almost nothing behind except for a bunch of bones. It all gave me a lot to consider as I headed home from Castellian Springs with my big red shovel.